Hey you guys, Rene here, and coming to you with kind of a heavy heart, like everybody, like so many of you out there. You guys watched what was happening in Dallas. You've seen the events that have been happening around the country the last week or so, and Dallas was one of those things that was, well, I mean, I couldn't believe I was watching it. I was watching it live. And I remember I was watching, I was like, why are they running? Why is the camera is so unsteady? What is going on? And then, just watching as the breaking news unfolded. And I guess it's weird to me because I'm going to just change this angle a little bit, you guys, so I can see. Hold on. Stand by, everybody. I'm going to try to see your questions, but my thing is not active. All right. Oh, gosh, sorry. Oh. Crap. I'm going to have to read your questions sideways because this thing is sideways. Anyway, I'm coming to you because I have a couple of things to say. Eesh. Yeah, horrible day for our beloved city. Yeah, it was really bad. I'm so sad because I love Dallas. I worked in Dallas for a long time. 10 years I worked in Dallas, and I worked at WFAA, and then I worked at Channel 11, KTVT, and I was watching all this stuff that was happening, in the city that I really honed my news chops on, and I couldn't believe it. I know all those places. I was watching from New York, but I know where all those places were. I know where that McDonald's is downtown. I know Lamar. I know what was then the Nations Bank building is now the big Bank of America building. I know, Belo Park. I know the that parking garage they were talking about. I know the gosh, it was almost surreal and heartbreaking. And I woke up this morning and I felt like I had been run over. Like I felt like I was hungover because number one, I stayed up so late watching all the coverage, and number two, just because I'm just sick, just heartsick about it. You guys, we have to do something. And I had this very distinct thoughts that I was going to lay out, but let me just see if I can put together a cohesive thought and statement here. Someone said I'm sideways. I am? I don't know why. How's that, Kia? How's that? Thank you for letting me know. How's that? Am I not sideways anymore? We as a country have to have some very uncomfortable conversations. And those conversations are going to be uncomfortable for you and for me and for our kids and for people who are elected officials. And this shit is going to hurt, and we're going to go through some serious growing pains as a country. If we don't, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. When I say we're going to have difficult conversations, this is what I mean. Yesterday, I put a post up on my page, or 2 days ago, talking about my black son. Now, first of all, before I go any further, I have to say that my heart is breaking for Dallas, is breaking for the officers who were shot and killed in the line of duty, who just went to work that day to do their jobs, which was to protect and to serve. And they love that city. And that's the city that they died for and in. And my heart is breaking for them. My heart is also breaking for the two young men who were shot and killed by officers, not in Dallas, but in around the country, in Baton Rouge and Falmouth Springs, or Philandro Castile. I can't think of where he was right now. But my heart breaks for them too. I don't know if you guys saw there was a piece about Philandro Philando. Oh God, I'm sorry, you guys. I can't even think. Anyway, there was a piece about how he worked to get to where he was as a cafeteria supervisor, and the impact that he had on the kids at the school where he worked. Mr. Phil, they called him Mr. Phil, and just is the word ignominious, just the way he died. And it's like, what the fuck? What is it going to take? So against that backdrop, I say what I said about my son, who is 18, smart, savvy, cocky, mouthy. If any of you has a teenage boy, you know exactly what I'm talking about, except my teenage boy is black. And I wrote this post yesterday and I put it up, and it literally went viral. I wrote it on Wednesday. And that post went viral. And it's been shared like 200 times, and there's been all this comment. Well, one woman came on yesterday and she said, and I'm not kidding, she said, teach your son to be polite and to not wave around a weapon, and I'm sure he'll go far. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And pardon my French, but are you kidding me? Because are you saying that Mr. Phil wasn't polite when the officer was holding his weapon at him? He wasn't polite when he told the man what he was going to do. Is that what you're saying to me? Are you saying that Alton Sterling wasn't polite when the officers were on top of him and telling him to, like, if somebody's on top of me with their knee on my chest, I'm going to try very hard to be polite, but at some point, doesn't your natural reaction take over and you're like, I can't breathe, so please get off me? And there's a bit of fighting and struggle that goes on with that. So when this woman said that, I was like, you really don't know what it's like. And she said, well, I grew up in a bad neighborhood. I didn't. I grew up in a great neighborhood. I live in a great neighborhood. And you know what? I still have to dress up to go to a nice store. Bergdorf Goodman or Neiman Marcus. You don't think they don't follow me around? Really? And I grew up in a nice neighborhood. Like, ugh. And then she said, someone took on her quote that she didn't and wasn't a beneficiary of white privilege. And she said, well, I wasn't privileged, because here's the thing. She was equating privilege with money. That's not what white privilege is, and that wasn't the context we were using it in. This woman has probably never felt like in her town, in the town of 17,000 people that she lives in and pays taxes in, that she had to smile at all the police officers and wave at them as she drove by, like I do. Like I have to make sure they know I'm friendly. This woman probably never got followed around in a store by anyone thinking she was going to steal, because I do. That's what we mean when we're saying, when we were talking about white privilege. She totally didn't get it. And Lauren, yeah, she was born privileged. That's the other point I said. She doesn't understand white privilege because it's part of her DNA. She never had to have it explained to her because she didn't know it was a thing. It's like, I have a mole right here. If nobody ever said, hey, look at that mole, it would always be there. And I would think, oh, well, it's just, doesn't everybody have that? Of course, everybody has a mole, right? No, everybody doesn't have that. No, everybody doesn't have that. Think about this. And here's where, and I really worried and thought hard about what I was going to say, because I don't want to use my platform to make people angry or uncomfortable. But guess what? There are going to be some angry and uncomfortable people, because that's how you grow. That's how you grow. Some people are not going to like what I have to say, but I am curious that I have a number of white friends who sat on their hands, didn't speak up when when these cops were shooting and taking the lives of African Americans. Where are you? Do you love me? Are you my friend? Do you love me? And if you're my friend, then when you see injustice, you'll say something, because you have that right. You have that privilege. Use it. Use it. My friend Desiree Miller said, I didn't say anything because I didn't know what to say. And I get that, because sometimes, because you don't want to make anybody upset or angry. But, this wound is not going to be healed by a bunch of people walking around pointing fingers and not really getting to the heart of the matter. We need people to understand that. Women like that woman who thought that my son just being polite would keep him from being shot and killed. That can't be. You got to come out of wherever it is you are. Come out of your ivory tower, wherever you are, and look and be around some people who are not like you. Not like you. You need to have and experience some people who are different than you. You know, they talk about how the military is the great equalizer, and I firmly believe that, because you are united against a common enemy. Look how we were as a country after 9/11, a common enemy. We together, regardless of race, creed, color, orientation, whatever, we all came together because it was us against them. We need that. We need the thing that keeps us, and the things that unite us are far greater than the things that divide us. You know, that woman, I went and looked at her Facebook page, because of course this is Facebook and you can see, and you know, there she is with, I can see everything. I see how she votes. I see what she believes. I see the dearth of African American friends that she has. And I wonder, have you ever left Mansfield, Texas? This is where she lived, Mansfield. How far outside of Mansfield do you go? Have you ever left Texas? You know, it's like, you guys, this is silly. This is crazy. And you can't put up a big fucking wall and think that I'm safe, because you're not. Shit has to change. And it has to change. It has to change now. It has to change fast. You know, my friend Des, who wrote this piece about you know, why she hadn't spoken up. I have white friends. I'm like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Stand up and say this shit is wrong. You know, and I'm just like, I get it that you don't want to be offensive and you don't want to be uncomfortable. Well, shit, neither do I. I don't either. You think I'm comfortable in the town that I pay outrageous taxes on, making sure that those officers know I'm a friendly, that I belong, that I actually belong in that neighborhood? You know what a burden that is? Do you know what a burden that is? Because it is. I pay taxes, and yet I gotta walk around like, oh hi officer, oh hey, smiling. And what if I don't feel like smiling? But I have to, because they need to know that I belong there. That I'm just one of the many ladies in yoga pants that walks around in my town. It just happens to be black. This woman said, oh, teach your son to be polite and respectful. Like I haven't taught him that. But he's 18 and he delivers pizzas at night in a big black car that he happens to own. And he likes to listen to Drake. So now what's going to happen at 11:30 at night, and he's out there delivering pizzas, busting Drake in his big black car? What do you think's going to happen? Come on now. Be real. Be real. And it's sad that we're this far apart now at 2016. You'd think that, you know, you'd think that we would have been further. She says, this lady, what was her name? Paula. Well, I do know one thing. Martin Luther King was a great man. Martin Luther King was a great man, and he achieved great and wonderful things. But he's not here now. It's not that his legacy isn't here. It is, but he's not here because some coward took him from us. But his message is still valid, and one that we all need to understand, especially today. We got here different ways, but damn it, we're here now. We are all here now. And we have to figure out a way to make this shit work. Make it work for everybody. Not just you, who has limited exposure to people who don't look like you. My God. Make some friends for people who don't look like you. That's the only way that you're going to understand what it's like. That's how you understand. You put yourself out there. Take off that thing you wear, whatever. And I am not beating up on white people. My God, please don't think that's the case. I'm not. I have a lot of white friends, and I love them like I love my black friends, like I love my family. It's not that. I'm just saying that everybody needs to understand that what we're seeing is a result of some people who feel like this is hard and we haven't been heard, and we need to be heard. Being heard does not mean taking the lives of police or anybody. Please make sure we're very clear on that. Last night was inexcusable. There is no justification for that. And I will not, I mean, I wish somebody would say, well, this is what you're saying, because that's not what I'm saying. And if you think that, you're not listening, and shame on you. What I'm saying is that there are people out there who believe that interactions with police, like what we saw earlier this week by the 2 African-American men, those circumstances could be mitigated or have a different result if those men were just polite. And that's where I'm saying you really have got to get into the real world and experience some people who don't look like you and who don't believe like you do. You know, I saw a thing about white privilege, and it was this woman, a white woman. She laid out all the things that that are the subtleties of white privilege that you probably don't even think about. But she's like, you know what? I can walk into a store, just like what I told you. I can walk into any store, and the assumption isn't that I'm going to steal something. The assumption is I'm going to buy something. You know, I can take public transportation, and there's not an assumption that that I need to be watched because something bad might happen. You know, it's the ability to move freely and to go into and out without having to be aware all the time. I am black. I've been black for 53 years, and there's not a day that goes by that I'm not cognizant of that in every dealing outside of my friends and family. Everyone. Maya, I just deleted someone this morning who said if those people would just learn to comply, they wouldn't get killed. I don't even know what to say about that. I really don't even know what to say about that. Here's the thing. Those people who did what they did, and by those people I don't mean black people or white people, I mean bad people. Those cowards, because that's what a sniper is a coward who hid up somewhere and then took shots. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, and that doesn't take really any kind of brave, or that doesn't take that. You know what that is? That's a coward. So instead of actually trying to change and make real change and make a difference in the town they live in, assuming that they live there, they took the coward's way. And they changed lives and took things away from people, and that's bullshit. Those people, And by those people, again, I'm talking about bad people, not black people and not white people. Those people did not help where we are right now. In fact, the situation is far more dire now. Police officers are going to be more edgy, more on edge. And how can you blame them? Can you blame them? You know, you've got African American men and women who are more on edge now. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's on edge. So that didn't help anything. Nothing was solved. And everything was just made like 100,000% worse. So it's like, for all of us, here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do today. You need to do a friendship audit. And I want you to look at the number of people in your life who don't look like you, who don't believe as you do, who don't love as you do, who don't worship as you do. And my challenge to you is to find some people who are different and to understand what their existence is like. And I mean, ask questions, even those questions that make you uncomfortable. And this is not a time to pussyfoot around and to kind of let things, you know, get whitewashed and swept under the rug. That time is gone. This time right now is time for serious action. And serious action means that we have to ask some really uncomfortable questions. And the reason they're uncomfortable is because you're not going to like the answer in some case. And then to figure out where to go from there. But this is not going to go away unless we actually understand each other. We understand and love. And love each other. And respect each other. That's all I got, you guys. Please do that.